What's up, crypto warriors? What is up, Blackrue crew? This video of ZEBEC CEO Sam Thapaliya is going to blow you away, guys. It's just what I like to see out of my CEOs. But if you like the information you guys are receiving, and you want to give back, DCENT Wallet is a way to go. Helps the channel, helps you. Let's hit the commercial right quick, and we'll be right back.
Your crypto deserves the best protection. So why settle for less? DCENT Crypto Wallet isn't just another wallet. It's safe, secure, easy to use, and supports your favorite cryptocurrencies all at the touch of a button. And now with my exclusive link, you'll save $30 on your new wallet. Better security, smarter investing, $30 in your pocket. Click on the link now and secure your better security today.
If you want to buy two, save $99. So a great way to give back to the channel. So we're going to play the smoking kind of gun of this interview here.
So people love to buy databases. And when you have data on how people are selling, what they're selling, and customer acquisition itself for a business customer, and even in Nepal, is more than $10. That itself should, just for the customer acquisition, but having like enough data compile on them itself is pretty expensive too. So that's how people love to buy data. That's how I would say.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So then you come over here to Menlo, you start your startup. And is that first startup you started over here as me?
Yeah, that was there was like in 2017, I tried to start a universal basic income coin. Didn't work out. I went to pitch to Team Draper. We had a simple disagreement in terms of how the economics of this will work. While he was a big believer in terms of having a mass inflation at first and then slow down after the adaptation, my belief was that's not how we should do it. And based on that disagreement, I was not able to launch it. But
so that was it right there. That this dude tried to start a universal basic income kind in 2017. Talked to Tim Draper. It didn't work out, but obviously they continued talking. That speaks volumes to me. The big takeaway for me from just that part, and then we got so much more to talk about with this. So much more to talk about. We're not going to play his whole interview, so definitely come over here and check out the whole interview from Metabob. We're just going to play pieces of it. But wow! Firsthand account from Sam, right? That he met Tim Draper in 2017. Didn't work out, but obviously they kept the connection. So if we go back to sharing this tab, right, we can now know that this is even firsthand knowledge, right? Like ZEBEC and Tim Draper, here we see that if you look at this here, investor, Coinbase Ventures, which Tim Draper owns a piece of Coinbase, invested in ZEBEC, which Sam is CEO of. So now we really understand and know that these guys had like firsthand dealings together. So it's not even just like a line on a mind map anymore. It's confirmed from the CEO himself. That's a really a smoking gun for me. Dudes were at least aware of each other since 2017. And if you're not aware, guys, if I bring up Coinbase, right? And remember, people back in 2017 thought cryptocurrency was a scam, right? But if we look at Coinbase and who were the initial investors, back in 2015, Tim Draper was initial investor in Coinbase, along with the New York Stock Exchange, by the way, along with the New York Stock Exchange. But yet somehow, we think crypto is a scam. And here we go. Even earlier, here in May 2013, they got a $5 million investment from others. And then in December of 2013, they got an investment from
Andreessen Horowitz.
Okay, Mark Andreessen. And they also got one from Olaf Carlson Wee, which if we go to our other mind map, see, that's where there's so much information in these mind maps. In the Patreon, I broke it down for you guys, and I'll continue to break it down for you guys. But let's go back to the other mind map. Olaf Carson Wee is the founder of Polygon Capital, which both Tim Draper and Mark Andreessen both own. Okay, so the three of these guys, all initial investors in Coinbase, which is why it's here on the mind map. We're breaking it all down here, bro. We're breaking it all down. We're breaking it all down here. So back to what I was saying here. Everybody thought cryptocurrency was a scam here, but clearly these guys were making their moves, setting things up. So back to Sam here. 2017, these guys are talking about a universal basic income coin. And regardless of what anybody thinks about a universal basic income, apparently Tim Draper thought he could make some money at it, and Sam proposed it to him, but that didn't work. But regardless of that, we got Tim Draper and Sam making a connection in 2017, and lo and behold, here later we have ZEBEC, right? So that's a really a smoking gun to me. Huge for me. Now we're going to break down some more of kind of Sam and who he is. What I like most about Sam and what I like about CEOs like him, like Lehman Baird, right? Others, but Sam and Lehman Baird are the ones kind of stick out for me right now. Is they're like really gaga and over the moon about technology, and you see that they really enjoy tech, right? I like to see that from CEOs, right? Especially crypto CEOs. So they're always going to be kind of at the pinnacle of innovation because these guys love to play with tech. They love to play with tech. And if we listen here to kind of how he began his first software project, his first company, we're going to kind of understand Sam. Let's listen to this. We're going to listen to part of this, and let's just play it, and I'll add commentary. And this is his first software project, by the way.
So wait, what was this first? Can you describe the first software that you worked on a little more?
Yeah. So what happened was, like, I'm from Nepal, right? So I saw all these stores. Everyone is writing with like their bills and piece of paper, right? And then I thought, like, what should be a way to, like, be cool in front of these people, right? And that's basically what I used to think. Like my whole, like, when you were 13 years old, your like life goal is like, first thing, be cool, and second thing is do something else. So my whole idea was like, let me try to build something, and that's what I basically built ERP software. So the end-to-end from billing to be able to manage.
And what does ERP stand for?
Like earnings and.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically for small business, I built that. 2 people used it.
Give me 1 second. So you're telling me that as a 13-year-old, you thought the coolest thing that you could do was build the ERP software. That's awesome.
So ERP software, I had to look it up myself. It can either be, I'm assuming that he means like this here. Software that helps businesses manage and automate core processes. So pretty much like business software. So like, a business planning software, accounting software, kind of that type of deal, like an accounting software, kind of like that. So he built this at 13. He's just, building software at 13. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because the thing was, like, anyone else who had a computer were like these stores, they used to have computers to play music. Because back so the window media player, like with the cool, like music playing around, that was the entire use of computer. And I was like, oh, all these people have computer, so what is the other thing that I can do with them? It's like, oh, sell an ERP, like sell. Basically it was at first the billing software, but somehow it started being used as an ERP. A couple of people use it, but they never paid it. They paid me with like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's about it. And that basically that let me realize that, oh, there is there is a way to do more things with this.
But you got your first users to ever use like a software you made there.
Yeah, exactly.
And they actually used it.
Yeah, they actually used it. Actually, like I knew like few of these small businesses. Like my dad had a small business, right? First customer. But besides that, like, my family members and like friends and stuff. So that's how I was able to sell it. But one cool thing that I learned there was after like a year or two, I realized I was talking to other people who actually sell software, right? And they told me that, oh, like this is the rate for how much an ERP or billing management software goes, a custom billing management software goes. And then I realized, wow, they all use my software and they never paid me anything. So that realized, wow, you actually can make money out of these things.
Yeah. Wait, so what'd you do next?
So to me, the big takeaway from that is like he just enjoys building software. And he saw a need, he saw a problem, and he likes building software, so he built something to solve a problem. Again, this is something I really like to see out of CEOs in this type of space where they just enjoy building software to solve problems. He built it, didn't get even paid for it, but this is us understanding his first journey, right?
Slack
for gamers. So
for
basically,
gamers?
Discord, Discord.
Yeah.
Basically, imagine the same product, but built in Nepal, and around like half a year before Discord was released, and no one used it.
Darn.
Yeah. So every time like Discord raises new round of funding, I'm like, you know what? I try to build right product, but at the wrong place.
So you did the Slack
for gamers. So
for
basically,
gamers?
Discord, Discord.
Yeah.
Basically imagine the same product, but built in Nepal, and around like half a year before Discord was released, and no one used it.
Darn.
Yeah. So every time like Discord raises new round of funding, I'm like, you know what? I try to build right product, but at the wrong place.
Ah, okay.
Oh, he just said he built something like Discord a year and a half before Discord, but it was just in Nepal, so nobody used it. Nobody really knew, and nobody used it. So again, two different things that he built to solve a problem. And you're going to see here too, his first company, ASMI. All right. That's going to come kind of out of what happens here.
Then that's when you decided like, hey, I need to go to the United States and publish something.
No, actually, like that point, there was a big earthquake that happened in Nepal. I took 2 years off, and in that time, all I did was just learn how to code. In machine learning. Basically, I didn't go to so in my college, I actually didn't study any programming. Most of my skills come from self-learning, and that 2.5 years, all I did was just like.
And honestly, I have my degree, but honestly, it's self-learners that like do the best in programming. I hate to say that, but they do, because the college can slow down your development. People who just are hungry for it, they're gonna learn it more. They're gonna learn it better. They're gonna be more fluid with it because they're just using it to solve problems. They're not getting taught by a textbook. Okay, this is the way to solve the problem all the time. So they're learning it in a way to solve problems. They're using it in a object oriented, like a flowing way. I don't know, the words are escaping me right now. Like they're using it in a way that's fluid. Like it's a tool to solve a problem, right? Imagine like a poet who's writing a poem, right? You're not trying to write for you're not trying to write a essay or a doctoral whatever for someone. You're writing a poem, so it could go anywhere your emotions want it. Hence, someone who's learning how to program, okay, any problem you want to solve, you're going to be able to write the program once you learn it to solve any problem in a way that a poet writes a poem, kind of like that.
Find new modules, just practice that new algorithm that all I did was these things for 2.5 years. And in that time, I tried to build things that will like segment people's noise, segment like images, and then start to experiment with like how can you like augment the image, or like how you can compress the image using AI. All I was doing was just like every possible thing that was available. And just if anyone publishes new like paper, and if there's some code available in GitHub, try to experiment with that. So all I did was that for 2.5 years. And then I tried to start a startup in B2B e-commerce space in Nepal. I wanted to expand into India, but didn't have any resources. Then I took an exit from there, and I came to US for
Wait,
college.
how did you take the exit there? That's
Oh, so there we had three things. Like in 3 months, we had around like 20,000 businesses signed up.
Oh, well,
And-
how did you get those?
Well, in terms of growth, we tried this strategy of giving free software. So we had free accounting software, and I knew that everyone loves accounting software and does not like to pay for it from my from my childhood memories. So we gave away the accounting software. Everyone started using it, and a lot of people started actually signing up to it. We had like we started offering like a few side products in terms of like enabling like if you have shipping, then we have shipping partner, right? Find new modules, like like just practice that new algorithm that all I did was these things for 2.5 years. And in that time I tried to build things that will like segment people's noise, segment like images, and then start to like experiment with like how can you like augment the image, or like how you can compress the image using AI. All I was doing was just like every possible thing that was available. And just if anyone publishes new like paper, and if there's some code available in GitHub, try to experiment with that. So all I did was that for 2.5 years. And then I tried to start a startup in B2B e-commerce space in Nepal. I wanted to expand into India, but didn't have any resources. Then I took an exit from there, and I came to US for college.
Wait, how did you take the exit there? That's
so there we had three things. Like in 3 months, we had around like 20,000 businesses signed up.
Oh, well, how did you get those?
Well, we like in terms of growth, we tried this strategy of giving free software. So we had free accounting software, and I knew that everyone loves accounting software and does not like to pay for it from my from my childhood memories. So we gave away the accounting software. Everyone started using it, and a lot of people started actually signing up to it. We had like we started offering like a few side products in terms of like enabling like if you have shipping, then we have shipping partner, right?
So crafty. If I'm hearing him right and I'm understanding him right, he built some more like accounting software because he had the first experience of the accounting software that he built that nobody paid him for. So he built some other accounting software, and he built it so good he got 20K users in Nepal, and he exited. So he basically got 20K users and he sold it. And it seems like he built it as freeware, and then when people were on it as freeware, he kind of upsold them, like because it was so good that they got it for free. They started buying stuff for it. Okay. That's what it sounds like, which is pretty crafty to just give them the software, and then now you got them hooked, and now you have them pay for features. From Sam on that one. Let's go back just a little bit to get a little bit of more context again.
So in Nepal, Nepal is a very tight community when it comes to businesses, right? Everyone knows everyone, so that's why it grew up as wildfire. So for us, the next logical conclusion of this business would have been to grow into India, become like Udaan. Udaan is like another $10 billion company right now, and we actually came in the same time. But for us, we didn't have resources, and the founders of Udaan were the founders, like we're from the executive team of one of the largest e-commerce company there. So we already were in the, we were not that opportunistic for us to go to India. So basically, we started.
And this is the second time you've seen like someone get away with your idea.
More as a having the similar vision, but being more resourceful and being more well positioned. Like I never think someone like can take away your idea.
Yeah, no one can take your idea, but
exactly. But just being well positioned and being full of resources.
So that part that he just said, I don't think anyone can take your idea. I think being full of resources, and I kind of cut him off in a bad spot there. We'll go back a little bit, but to me, I think that's a key too about Sam as a person, or what we're seeing as Sam as a person. Granted, it's one interview, but again, we're learning a lot about this person, I feel. So what we're hearing there is like he doesn't seem married to one idea. And a lot of times you see with different CEOs or different inventive or creative people, they will get very much married to one idea, so much so that it cuts off the creation. it cuts off the ingenuity. And it does not seem like that is the case here with Sam, which is very, very cool, honestly. And I find that people that are fluid like that, he's quick on his feet. I really like that. I really like that from what we're seeing about him here, that he's not married to one idea and he understands, even as a creative person, I need resources in order to get my ideas off the ground. Like really some really great traits we're seeing here. And as a CEO, that's an awesome thing to see, right? But let's go back just a little bit to get the full breadth of this idea.
And the founders of Udaan were the founders, like we're from the executive team of one of the largest e-commerce company there. So we already were in the, we were not that opportunistic for us to go to India. So basically we started.
And this is the second time you've seen like someone get away with your idea.
More as a having the similar vision, but being more resourceful and being more well positioned. Like I never think someone like can take away your idea.
Yeah, no one can take your idea, but
exactly. But just being well positioned and being full of resources is actually the one of the few things you can survive. And at that point, like what we did was we offloaded the whole product, like divided it as an accounting software, sold it to someone, the database sold it to someone. We had like other few assets, we sold it to someone else, and then I came to US. And my learning point from those two things was like, you have to always ask yourself, what is the most powerful asset that you have? And people can be like, I have connection to investors. I'm very well, I can speak very well, explain my ideas really well. Or it can be, I'm a really good programmer. And at that point I realized I'm from Nepal. And one of the most powerful thing that I have is the access to one of the biggest talent pool at a very, very like affordable cost. And in the same time, I can actually start building product at a very short period of time. And instead of spending like year or 2 years, I can actually do that. So that was my learning point when I came to America.
Wow. So everything he just said there is what you would love. Like, okay, I have like, what's my best asset? I have access to a group of people in Nepal in which we can get things done faster and quicker and cost effective very, very quickly. That sounds like amazing, right? That's really, really amazing there.
So that's why I actually didn't want to study CS. I came to Menlo College for the entire reason. It was right next to Stanford, and it was right in Silicon Valley. My entire purpose, like in my visa interview, I remember that like when the visa interviewer asked me like constantly, why you're going to America? I'm like, oh, I'm going to start a company. And that's like, and I did that. So that's how I got into this space here.
That's awesome. So you got your 20,000 users over there, and then you sold it. How did you sell it?
So people love to buy databases. Like, and when you have data on how people are selling, what they're selling, and customer acquisition itself for business customer, and even in Nepal, is more than $10. That itself should, just for the customer acquisition, but having like enough data like compile on them itself is pretty expensive too. So that's how people love to buy data. That's how I would say.
That's awesome. So then you come over here to Menlo, you started your startup. And is that first startup you started over here as me?
Yeah, that was there was like in 2017, I tried to start a universal basic income coin. Didn't work out. I went to pitch to Team Draper. We had a simple disagreement in terms of how the economics of this will work. While he was a big believer in terms of having a mass inflation at first and then slow down after the adaptation, my belief was that's not how we should do it. And based on that disagreement, I was not able to launch it. But that's what I tried to do. It didn't work out. And then I started ASME. And ASME was just answer to the mass adoption of video. Like everyone was watching videos or creating videos, and that's basically what enabled me to think, how can I build an interesting product in this space?
Now ASME, right? Now we can go and look and see from ASME, he actually has 4 different patents, right? System and method in video product placement and in video purchasing capability using augmented reality. System and method for in product placement of video purchasing capability using augmented reality. System and method in video product placement and video purchasing capability using augmented reality, system and method for in-video product placement and video purchasing capability using augmented reality with automatic continuous user authentication. We got these patents here, and I believe he may have another patent as far as streaming payments are concerned, or maybe those streaming payments might have come out of these patents. Either way, it says to me two things. One, he of course is obviously very smart. Two, shout out to my guy Underdog Research Channel, right? Underdog's gone through some stuff with patents, Swift blockchain, and he's shown us that patents cost a lot of money. So for him to have 4 patents, that took a lot of money. Whether it's his money or someone else's money, he has access to a great deal of funds, right? And since he exited a couple companies he created, I'm sure it's either his money or like some of his partners' money or a mix of both. So honestly, very, very awesome there. So again, as far as smarts and things, it seems to be he is who he says he is. And the patents prove that. So for me, again, this just gives me more and more faith in ZEBEC to the tune of saying like, okay, maybe 25 cents is not too much of a stretch.
And so then you have some other projects that you've been working on in like the crypto space.
Yeah, so like I have like it's being from country like Nepal, having lived through a dictator, then socialist country that is ruled by a communist party, and having gone through like civil wars, pretty big natural disaster, and now living in pandemic. One thing that I've always been interested is like DeFi and how can we create new type of finance tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, and then having been like, you know, started like being in part of this since 2017, you have some perspective. That's why always people try to reach out to me. And when NFT started coming in, you know, there was a couple of people whom we started working on together, and we launched an NFT platform like 60 days ago. It was pretty interesting. We had a success as we were able to launch it. Now we are also trying to develop a decentralized legal platform. And besides that, there are a couple of other projects in this space that we are doing. But in short, crypto is pretty exciting, and when we're just trying to experiment with things that will push the idea of decentralization a little bit further. That's what we are doing in short.
So you can see he's trying to not say what's going on. Maybe ZEBEC was, because this is not too far from when ZEBEC actually got together, right? Like I think they were pretty much towards the end of 2021. They were a company. So he's holding back a little bit here. But again, this shows again, he's a person that seems to be very innovative, and he was working on multiple things at this time, but maybe ZEBEC was one of them, but he didn't tip his hands to Donji here. Let's continue.
And in long,
you know, power to people. That's the goal of crypto, right? But I think in long, I think pushing the idea of like, you know, human civilization a little bit further with crypto, because to this day we have always been like focused with the idea of authority. For something to have a value and something to have a power, it always comes from authority. But I think in long, crypto can change that or transform that to basically make it community based. And we are already seeing that with few of these platforms already. Like Bitcoin is a pretty interesting example, but you can see there are very interesting protocols that are coming out in terms of lending, like in terms of international money transfer. There are a lot of these things that are going to happen, and that will in short just, you know, transform how we as a society function in terms of how we derive value from authority and what exactly it means having value for something.
How we derive value from authority. That's very interesting. When you see that with ZEBEC, they're working DeFi. This is like streaming payments. Streaming payments is taking, like, when you think of this company he had, right, is a video company. So he took the idea, if we go back here, of video, which is a streaming, like video, it streams data. You're streaming data to get a picture. So he took the idea of streaming and applied it to DeFi. So you have streaming payments. Pretty cool. Pretty innovative. Like I really like that. I like that. I really like that. He took that application and kind of melded them together. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. Again, this just really makes me hype over ZEBEC even more. I like what I'm hearing from Sam. He seems like he's quick on his feet. He's innovative. He's not sticking on one idea too much. So he's going to innovate. He's going to continuously innovate. I like what he created here with ZEBEC. And in here, we're kind of like seeing the beginnings of it before it even started, right? Officially. I'm sure there was some things probably already behind the scenes here that were happening as far as ZEBEC is concerned. And the fact that he pitched to Tim Draper in 2017, that's really, really cool to me. So it seems like, he's been innovating since 2017. But of course, he told you his first program was like, 2013, and nobody paid him for it, but tons of people used it. So I really like hear what we see from Sam. Definitely go check out this entire interview. But wow, it blew me away. And again, we have a first person account of him being in contact with Draper. We don't have to guess anymore. He kind of already told us he did. He pitched it to him. Where he pitched it to him, if it was Draper University or whatnot, not sure. But the most important point there is that he did pitch it to them.
What up, Rue crew? This is Daniel, Max and Rue's AI robot assistant, with another public service announcement. If you listened to this entire outline, simply do our brother Rue a solid and type in this keyword into the comments, and that is Tim Draper. And Rue will know that you listened to the entire outline. Please consider smashing the like button as if you were smashing a car at a wrecking yard or smashing a car into another car at a demolition derby. Rue crew represent. Let's go.